Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. I got another amazing watch for you guys today, and that is a watch by the company Spinnaker. Now, Spinnaker's been around for quite some time. They're one of the Dartmouth brands, a branding that, honestly, everything that they produce has been of the best quality. I've had no complaints with anything they make, and Spinnaker is just another example of that. I'm like beating a horse dead here with mentioning that every single video, but it is the truth, right? Now, this is one of my favorites, I think, that Spinnaker makes, and this is called the Dumas. Now, I will state the name, D-U-M-A-S, dumbass, right? I think they could have done a little better on the name on that just because of how stupid people are, right? But I get it, you know what I mean? But don't hold that against the name of the watch. This is an absolute stunner. Now, I do have several of these watches in my collection, but this one, it just sucked me in. I had to request this one, and you might know why. I am a sucker for an orange face watch. I am not really a guy who, like I wouldn't have an orange car. I wouldn't paint my walls orange. But something about that dive orange, I absolutely love in a dive watch. And this is a vintage styled case. So we have that really cool octagon case, very unique and different. When we compare it to like 90% of the watches out there. Well, I don't know if it's 90%, but you know what I mean. I mean, I love when they have that vintage style and just a different case. We see so many round, standard Submariner size homage watches. I love when companies do things. I'm not saying super far outside the box with this because there are, they didn't go crazy with the design, but it's subtle, it's vintage, it's clean, and it's a lot more fun than your standard style watch, right? Standard round old watch. So absolutely love it. Again, I think if I have to choose one favorite model from Spinnaker, it's this one here. I look forward to them doing more things like this in the future. So what do we get? So I'm going to show you this watch on the wrist. I'll throw some pictures up here right now to keep you guys engaged. I'll show you the box in just a second. Let me put that away here. So what do we get here? So they just say the Dumas leans on a strong vintage 1970 inspired shape. The octagon case is bold, sturdy, and offers the right frame of bezel and dial, right? So specifications, let's see what they listed here. This one is outright Spinnaker. Way to go, Dartmouth. This time they listed the specifications and they have the movement listed. This is powered by your time-tested, true, sturdy, reliable Japanese NH35 automatic movement by TMI/Seiko, right? So that's, you already got the respect right then and there. This is going to be a watch that's, again, automatic. It's going to be a watch that's going to last you. It's reliable. And remember, if you want to have it regulated, you can get it within plus and minus 1 second per, I think it's day. I never really get too involved in the accuracy part of watches, but check out Richard Pratt Watchmaker. He did a video review regulating an NH35, and he got it to the standards of what you would get out of a Rolex. So they can do it, It's just you got to pay for it. 44 millimeter case. This might be a little large for some folks, but I encourage you, if you are a guy who, has been sticking to that 40, 42 millimeter, step it up a little bit. This has a great wrist presence. It's not overly big, but it still looks clean, classy, and different on the wrist. The bright orange is absolutely stunning. This orange is really, it's not like some of the oranges I've seen, like for instance on my Tactical Frog, the Doxa homage, it's more of a, a little bit more pale. This is like a really bright, deep, just sweet, beautiful sun-kissed orange peel. It absolutely really stands out. And the reason I like the orange in a dive watch is, and why it screams, is that orange is one of the best colors to see if you're diving. Now, I don't do any kind of diving. The most diving I do is in my hot tub, chilling and watching Netflix, right? So, but I do love that color in watches. We have some lume on the indices, of course. Very easy to read. Very, just a very nice, I believe this is a ceramic insert on the bezel. It's really nice, high gloss. Let me see what they say about it. Unidirection bezel with glass. So, all right, so I'm wrong. It's not ceramic, it's actually a glass insert. So, I guess be a little conscious of that, right? Generally, you know, we do bang our watches from time to time, so I don't think that should be something to dissuade you from buying it. But if you are pretty clumsy, just kind of think about it. You know, I've whacked my watches many times, and I don't think I have any other watches with a glass bezel insert. So should at some point I make a mistake and smack my wrist on the wall and damage it, I'll let you guys know. It would have been nice to have ceramic in that, just because of that reason. But there is something to be said about the glass. Ceramic can get pretty shiny too, but not quite like the glass. It's almost like the crystal just bleeds right into the glass of the bezel. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. I didn't realize that until just now. Again, dial color is orange, unidirectional bezel. You know, doesn't stick up too high, so not... I'm not going to say it's difficult to turn, but you don't get a really good grip on it, but it lines up perfectly, and it's super smooth, no back play. You know, I don't really care about this stuff, but you guys do. So 300 meters of water resistance, lug to lug 48 millimeters, and you do have a sapphire lens with anti-reflective coating. That is a concern for many folks. I talk about check boxes when I do these reviews. For me, I don't really care. I've never damaged a watch, right? Watch all damage this one. But yeah, I mean, it's got that sapphire, and that is a checkbox for many folks. I think really when watch companies make watches, you know, I think it's always smart to go with sapphire, just because the people in the watch community, it's like it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. You know, if you don't have the movement listed, like this has got all the check boxes that I think anybody in the watch community, whether you hate me, like me, you know, hate Rolex, like Invicta, hate Aragon, whatever your stance is, I think this is a pretty well respected watch. I don't think anybody's gonna have anything negative to say about this. And you know, a lot of times when folks talk, they're not really speaking based on facts anyway, because when you look at a watch like this is kind of like your standard on what you get in 90% of the watches out there. 316 stainless steel, beautiful, you know, beautiful crystal, in this case sapphire, which is what folks would consider top of the line, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, mineral, K1, Cristerna. I've never scratched any of them. You know, you have a beautiful look, very vintage styling, beautiful milled clasp. You know, that's a checkbox for some folks. For me, it's not. I don't mind stamp, but I mean, if I have to choose, of course, milled is beautiful. I mean, a lot nicer. It's just gorgeous. It's a great looking watch. Screw-on case back. Of course, we have that exhibition window with that just black decorated logo, just saying Spinnaker on it. Screw-down crown. You really can't go wrong. It checks all the boxes that one would be looking for in a vintage microbrand style dive watch. It's stunning. What else? Case, you know, Spinnaker cases are pretty basic. They kind of have almost like a canvas-like material, blue and gray, pretty simple. You know, what is that, like a foam pad, Spinnaker on there, and a warranty tag. I don't get too involved in the box. This isn't really something that's over the top. It's not like a nice presentation case. It's just a basic box. It's what, you know, the watch will come in, gift it to somebody, whatever. It's got a box. So I think, you know, sometimes when I see, Spinnaker is not necessarily a company who makes, like when we look at their other brand, Nubeo, we have the space related stuff, then we have the ocean related stuff. So a lot of their boxes tend to be a little more fun, I'd say, you know, like this. This is pretty fun presentation, you know, but Spinnaker doesn't really necessarily make like dive watches. They have other watches that wouldn't fall into what I would consider a dive style, but it would be kind of cool if this was a little bit, you know, more dive related. But again, for me, you know, where this goes for the most part, in the trash can. You know, I don't have room for 200 boxes. So stunning watch. Let's throw on the wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist. I weigh about 182 pounds. And I'm about 5'8", so it's gonna look like a guy my size, my height, my weight. I mean, if you don't own an orange-faced watch, I encourage you to pick one up. I've never been a fan of orange ever, and but when it comes to watches, I absolutely love this color in a watch face. It, like I said, it just screams dive watch. And I think that's because I really kind of fell in love with the Doxa look. I had an intention, even though they're super overpriced, $2 grand, of maybe someday getting a Doxa. But for me to rationalize $2,000 on a watch, pretty steep when you have watches like this for a fraction of the cost that are just as nice. It's a beautiful piece, and you know, having other companies make things like this, Doxa loses by money ultimately, because you can get the homage watches, and you can get watches like this with that bright orange. So there's really no point in spending $2 grand on a watch like that. But this is definitely one for the collection. If you do have a larger wrist, just so you guys know, I took out 5 links. So to get this down to a 7, what do we have? Probably about 1.5 inches larger wrists, you can wear this for you big boys. Pretty awesome. I think that's about it. There's some pretty cool lume shots on their website. I'll put the link in the description, as I always do, where you can check it out. Great lume shots on this. They don't list the lume. Again, another deal breaker for a lot of folks. People want to know what these things are. You know, people want to know what lume it has. They want to know what movement, you know. So at least Dartmouth definitely did a better job this time at listing this information. I just would like to see them add the lume. The more information you can provide the customer, the better. So, like I said, if you guys are like, you know, if you guys are on the fence on buying one of these and you're like, oh, I need to know the lume, let me know. I'll get you that information. I'd rather see you guys, you know, add an awesome watch like this to your collection than, you know, and answer your question, and to just you'd be like, ah, well, forget it, you know. If you look at some of their other watches, they make this in a couple different colors. They make it in kind of like this vintage kind of cream, almost like eggshell color called the Sahara. They make it in, and they're spread throughout their site here. Of course, this is the Tangerine. They make it in, I think this one's discontinued. I have this watch in an all gray with an, check out my other videos. Just Google Fat Cat Spinnaker. You'll find the other ones I've reviewed. They make a Bordeaux, which is like a wine face. The other one I was telling you about, they make in a, it's like the classic shark mesh bracelet with that all gray, stunning looking watch. And then the other one I reviewed, the Regatta White. That's a blue bezel with white face. So it's kind of funny. Whenever I do a watch review, I forget what I have. And then I see the picture, I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go wear that today. So that's, I guess it's a good problem to have if you're a watch collector. They also have it in the non-shark mesh bracelet in the same color variation that I have, with that gray with a little bit of orange on the indices and on the bezel. All gray. It's called chalk gray. That's kind of a fun one, or not really a fun one, but very subdued. I like the way that one looks as well. All blue. They have it in the Pepsi, and that's about it. So you get some, oh, and they have it in the black. So pretty awesome. I think hands down, this is the best watch that Spinnaker makes, and I encourage you to add one to your collection. So price on these right now, $400. So if we compare that to what other brands are charging for micro brand watches, you know, it's within line, especially for what you're getting. It's very robust. It's very solid. Nobody will be disappointed with this watch. I don't know how you could be. And I believe I have in the description a coupon code. So if you're going to get one, pick that up. If this is available anywhere else, I always put that link as well where you can get it for the best deal. But man, oh man, if you don't have the orange face watch, look at that bezel just gleaming. Just a stunning piece. And for you folks who have a problem with branding, this has it on the face, the back of the watch, the rotor, the crown, and of course the clasp. So kind of your standard branding on here. No Spinnaker on the sides, you folks who, you know, cry about that. But man, look at that. Look at the shine on that. As we noted too, the watch is all a brushed finish. And just looks like on the edges of the case they've done a little bit of mirror polishing to kind of set that off, but most of the watch is done in that brushed finish. It's a great looking piece. You guys really are not going to be disappointed with this one. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to help. I want to thank, as always, Dartmouth for their generosity in having this ongoing collaboration with Fat Cat Collections. A lot more coming down the pike. Seems like every time I go check their websites, they're popping a new one in on me. So stay tuned for more. Remember, I upload videos every Saturday, so if you missed the 2 previous videos, I've reviewed a couple Nubeo watches. And definitely check out my Nubeo playlist, my Dartmouth playlist for all the different great models that Dartmouth brands makes. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Have a good day, and take care.